Hey guys, Sam here with Loans with Sam, and here on another video. And I want to talk about things you should consider before buying an Airbnb property in Florida. But before I begin, make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel where I talk about real estate in Florida, home loans, and personal finance. So let's begin. So you're thinking about buying an Airbnb property in the state of Florida. You saw all those cool videos of people making a ton of cash, and you want to get in. You want to get in on the fund and purchase property and Airbnb it. But there's some things you need to consider before that happens. So I'm just going to run down 5 things to think about before buying an Airbnb property in the state of Florida. First one is how to acquire and finance the property. So if you're going to acquire property in Florida, obviously you need to have an idea of the location. You need to know what the booking rates are like. So there's a site called AirDNA that can give you the occupancy rates of Airbnbs in specific areas of Florida. So if you're in Tampa, Orlando, Miami, AirDNA will give you some data on what those occupancy rates look like. So that way you're not buying a property in an area where you're not going to get that many bookings, because that's very important. So how are you going to acquire this property? Are you going to use a realtor and look on the MLS? Are you going to use a wholesaler and get a wholesale property and then fix it up? So think about how you're going to acquire the property and then finance it. Are you going to leverage debt, meaning you're going to take out a loan? Are you going to use cash from savings? Maybe you want to get in a few partners in on the deal, and then you can pull your money together and finance the property that way. So have that plan in place so that you can go ahead, acquire the property, finance it, and then get it online. Second thing is be mindful of local rules and regulations. People think that they can get away with putting up an Airbnb and not have to get permitted or licensed. You're sadly mistaken. I've had some investors that had to pay fines of 10K, 5K because they didn't license their business and they didn't permit the Airbnb for that city. Certain municipalities take this very seriously because they feel you're taking revenue away from that city or municipality. So make sure whichever city that you're buying the Airbnb property, you're aware of their regulations and their rules so that you're in compliance with their rules and regulations. And the third thing to think about is the size of the house. What type of house do you want to have? Do you want a townhouse? Do you want a single family house? Do you want a condo? Do you want 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms? What my suggestion is to go on Airbnb, go into the city that you want to purchase a property in, and just kind of see what the booking rates look like. Obviously, the more rooms you have, the more you can charge per night, per booking. And you also want to keep in mind how many bathrooms you have, the square footage. Do you have a pool? So the size of the house matters because it can determine how much you'll be able to charge, how many people you'll be able to accommodate in the Airbnb. And it can also make a difference in how much you can make for that property. So keep the size of the house in mind and do your research and due diligence on that. All right. Number 4, usable space kind of goes back to number 3. How much space do you have? Do you have enough space to accommodate guests? Maybe they have pets, if you're going to allow pets. And then what are you doing with that usable space? Are you not only do you have bedrooms, do you have like a recreational room, like maybe a pool table? Do you have an area for storage? Maybe they have luggage, or maybe they have other things that they're bringing along on their trip. So just keep in mind of the usable space and make sure that the space can be functional and that it adds to the experience of staying at your Airbnb. So you're going to have to be creative and look at a lot of different Airbnbs and see how they utilize the space in their properties. And maybe you can get some ideas that way. And also you want to set some house rules because you're going to have all types of guests come to your Airbnb and you don't want your property trashed. So you want to make sure you have rules in place because maybe you're in a homeowners association and you can't have parking in certain areas, or maybe at a certain time of the evening, you have to bring the noise level down, or maybe you don't want to have more than 10 people in the house or 7 people in the house. So you need to establish these house rules so that way people can't say, oh, I didn't know that we couldn't do that. Oh, you didn't mention that we couldn't do that. You want to make it clear the rules of staying at your property so that there's no ambiguity, there's no misunderstanding, and that they understand it too. And you may even want to have them sign those rules so that that way they can adhere to your house rules. So these are some things to consider before buying an Airbnb. Obviously, there's more to it than just what I just mentioned in these five things, but this is just to set a foundation of what that would look like before you go on your journey to buying Airbnb property. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure you like and share. And I have more videos like this coming down the pipe. So make sure you stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.